And ladies and gentlemen, do we have
major breaking news?
Roe v. Wade is gone.
Yeah, baby. Woo. Oh, that is beautiful. That is a very good day for this country.
There you go.
That is incredible.
This is.
I want to read more. I just saw the first tweet about
Oh, my goodness.
Going on here?
Supreme Court has voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. Justice Alito writes, an initial majority draft circulated inside the court. Oh my! Whoa! This is nuts.
This is incredible.
Now here's the funny thing. Whenever issues of left and right comes up, they say, when is Tim going to defend abortion rights? And I just want to say one thing very clearly. When they come out and they're like, the left hasn't gone left and the right has gone right, my entire life, the Republicans wanted to ban abortion outright. Do you know what the Republicans want to do today? They've gone so far right, they want to ban abortion still.
Look at
that hasn't changed. The left used to be in favor of some restrictions, like a compromise. Now they want it completely unrestricted. I'm not going to defend you on that. I want restrictions. So here's where we are with this is 8:32 p.m. breaking. The Supreme Court has voted to strike down the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. This is nuts, according to initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito. The draft opinion is a full-throated, unflinching repudiation of the 1973 decision, which guaranteed federal constitutional protections of abortion rights, and a subsequent 1992 decision, Planned Parenthood v. Casey, that largely maintained that right. Wow. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. He writes in the document labeled as the opinion of the court, it is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives.
Wow.
I just want to point out, like, during the show, Lydia will like pull up a story. Yeah. It's like something's happening. But usually it's like, oh, we'll get to that. And then I saw this and I'm like trying to make my point and I'm just like,
distraction.
So what's it saying? That it becomes a state issue? State to state?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is because they strike down Roe v. Wade. Every subsequent court hearing that was based on Roe v. Wade is now struck as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're saying it'll be what, in 2 months
planned?
from now?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
There's going to be a lot of abortions between now and then.
This is earlier than we thought. I thought it was going to come out in June.
Yeah.
What's Planned Parenthood versus Casey?
This is incredible.
You guys know what that is off the top of your head?
Planned Parenthood v. Casey?
What are you asking me?
1992 court case, Planned Parenthood v. Casey.
I'm not sure.
Simply put, using the context clues, it was an additional case in a similar vein that reaffirmed the rights of abortion federally.
Wow. I mean, this is extremely good news. I was not expecting to be this happy at the end of my day today.
Well, that's it. I'm moving to Canada.
No, this is incredible. So many children
quote from
are going to
Alito.
be saved.
Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. I'll just say this: there is no middle ground in the issue of abortion. There's none. There has been attempts at compromise. That's what it used to be: safe, legal, and rare. That's where my family was. I remember, my family, my dad would say, it's always wrong. But, sometimes there's issues where we don't know if we have the right and the government and stuff like that. So it's always a more libertarian approach. What we're seeing now from the left is the argument that it's constitutionally enshrined to terminate the life of a baby, which goes well beyond any position I've ever held. But I've always been in the more libertarian position, which is a very difficult position because there's serious moral challenges to it that I don't have the answers to. Yeah. So I don't have a strong moral position other than...
It is a crazy thing that it really splits right down the middle. Like, I feel like if you just took a random subset of 5,000 Americans, 10,000, it would be right 50-50.
But there's no... It's because on the merits of the argument, there is no middle. Mm-hmm. There's no rational compromise.
Yeah.
Like on the legal,
it's not possible. Yeah. There's no compromise, and it's also fascinating because when you consider the fact that the Supreme Court case on gay marriage was decided 10 years ago, and basically the entire population is in favor, or a very large majority of the population is now, and you can lose your job basically for saying you aren't. Then you consider the fact that Roe v. Wade was decided 50 years ago, and
73, I think.
Yeah, and so many people have maintained their opposition to it. So the left never saw the cultural shift that they wanted to with it. Thank God for that. This is a really incredible day. I mean, there are millions and millions of children who are not going to be slaughtered because of this. And so often the right loses, fails to take ground, and just allows the left to advance more slowly. Today we have experienced one of the most incredible experiences that we could as a movement, because if we stand for anything, it has to be innocent life.
I remember when they were I remember them talking about when Roe was passed, there was a growing approval of abortion among the states, and when this happened, they were like, approval changed. Like, people stopped approving of it. And I honestly hope that this is the first in a long series of steps that we take to send these issues back to the states. I am very hardline on abortion, but this has always been a state's issue. It should have always belonged to the states because this is not something that was given to the federal government in the Constitution. And the 10th Amendment is extremely explicit about this. Anything that's not given to the federal government should be left to the states because the states are much more in tune with what a smaller subset of the population that live in that area think and believe.
So hold on there a minute. So I'm trying to tweet this out, but this is an initial draft of the majority opinion. It seems extremely likely this is what's going to happen, but it was leaked.
Right.
So it is still early. And the fear is because it was leaked, the left will now launch some kind of...
Well, that's why they leaked it.
Yeah, it says
Right.
it will not be final until it's published in the next
Right.
2 months.
So it seems extremely likely it will happen. But what if the left goes nuts? What if
They're going
What
to.
if?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What if? Hold on. Right. Sure. My point is, what if by then they change their vote?
Oh. Well, don't they have a majority? Because I think you went down and said it was all. Is it 5-4?
And what happens if Antifa goes and burns down a bunch of cities, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no, we changed our votes. That was a draft. We don't agree."
Do you think that would change their minds, or would that set them harder?
I think I don't know if you guys do. You guys hear that? I think it's the lady from the women's march yelling no.
She's shrieking.
You can hear
to the
she-
void.
Screaming.
I think I can hear her. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Me that
I
like-
hear it. Yeah.
Roe v. Wade. Growing up, Roe v. Wade was like the gold standard from my liberal mother family. It was always like, we got Roe v. Wade. That's part of, and that was only 6 years before I was born, but I guess that was like such an intrinsic part of women's rights.
This is
according to my parents' generation.
I'm gonna say
Sad.
the two magic words.
Oh, boy.
You guys ready for the two magic
go.
words?
Uh-oh.
Does anybody know what those magic words are gonna be? I don't know if you would, Danny. Seamus.
You're
It's
fired.
happening. We got a
No.
Ron Paul
happening.
call back.
Yeah.
The two words that Tim Pool likes to bring up. Starts with a C. Second word W.
Can't win.
Chicago White Sox. No.
That's pretty good.
Civil War.
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
Nah.
Stephen Marsh.
Yeah.
I've got a
Should I
tweet
grab
here.
the musket?
Yeah.
Yes,
There you go.
I have a Civil War musket.
never
It's an
been
actual-
used.
No.
You
Keep the powder dry.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your powder
YouTube
dry.
doesn't
Yeah.
allow us to.
That's right.
Okay.
I actually do have a Civil War Union.
I'm a dumb Canadian. I don't know
Min-
these-
Okay,
these
listen,
rules.
ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know these rules.
You need to hear this. Stephen Marsh, we had on the show, wrote a book called The Next Civil War. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's called, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
He wrote a follow-up article saying that he believed abortion had the potential to be a similar moral catalyst. Now, I've been saying that as well. I want to read this for you. This is from Dan Diamond, who is a Washington Post reporter who said, quote, no, he's quoting, I think, from an article. He says, "No draft decision in the modern history of the court has been disclosed publicly while a case was still pending." This is full-on sabotage of our federal government by a political faction. We cannot survive. If after hearing this news, if in 2 months they say, due to extenuating circumstances and extreme political pressure, we've changed our position, what do you think is going to happen in this country?
Well, who leaked it? That's what I want to know. So what is this this opinion that Alito issues? Does he only issue it to the other justices? The other
It
Supreme
sounds
Court
like they all
justices?
voted for it.
And
I'm
then-
totally having to move back to Canada.
There you
aren't
go.
I?
So one of these they probably did it in a closed room. I don't know the process, but one of these justices may or may not have leaked this to one of their aides, and then that aide leaked it to the press, or the justice just leaked it to the press. Either way, this to me is evidence that we need to get rid of all of them and put new justices in. That will not
9 new
leak it.
Supreme Court
justices?
justices?
If one of them is corrupt, that
clerk.
entire system is. If one of those justices
Everything's
told the clerk,
corrupt.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
then
the
we
next
can't
9.
keep we can't
Yo.
keep justice opinions secret anymore. And
What about if
it's going to
they
be
get
court
the
of
next
public
9
opinion?
through a reality TV show? Very
Yo,
American
this
style.
is crazy.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody would watch
that.
it.
I wouldn't be happy with that.
It's like The Apprentice. It's Trump,
Oh my gosh.
and you've got 35 candidates.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"You're too far left. Get out."
You get a rose.
Quite frankly,
I don't like the decisions you've made in the past. To be honest, I don't think
I
you
wanna-
can help.
I want
The
to
president
say it,
should not be putting people in the court like that. That is
Separate
insane.
branches, yeah.
It's that's not how
That's how it's
there's-
been
there's-
doing for 200 years. That's how it's worked. I know, but it's just
No,
insane
no. There's a confirmation process.
Yeah, but it's like a
And
a
there
clown
are-
court, and it's like the Senate
Bro.
gets to do it. It's not even that people don't even have a say. It's
I
crazy.
want to say a few words, my friends. So every winter, things calm down because people are indoors and they can't go out and do crazy things. And every winter for the past 11 years or 10 years as I've been covering conflict, winter comes around and everyone says, I guess it's all over. The riots and the protesting and everything is done. And I'm like, dude, it's snowing outside. Okay? Give it a few months. And in the summer, you're going to see it get crazy again. And then I was thinking about this just recently because Stephen Marsh wrote that article that abortion could be, he says abortion is a similar moral issue to what slavery was for the Civil War. And I've talked about that. And then I was like, I wonder if a lot of people are still thinking that there's not going to be some escalation. And then I'm just like, I genuinely believe something will occur that will be an unprecedented escalation. We have never,
Looks like this.
this is what they're saying. Never has a draft leak of a Supreme Court decision been leaked in modern history. It is unprecedented. This is one of the most dramatic escalations. That there are Supreme Court justices, sure, as Ian mentions, I don't know if we get rid of all of them, who have staff or someone leaked this to the press, just undercutting our entire system of governance. I'm really worried about what's going to happen over the next 2 months, but hey, man, don't be surprised if you see rioting and smashing of windows and just destruction.
That'll be a bare
but
minimum.
listen,
Yeah.
Term limits.
Lumber
That's
futures
that's
are
the
way up.
status quo now.
but look. I don't believe the left holds this as to the same moral standard as the right does. To the right, it's a very strong moral issue. To the left, it's a tribal issue that they talk about sometimes. But here's what I was thinking. If the ruling came out, I didn't think that there would be mass rioting over this. The reason was the ruling is done. What they would do is they would start petitioning and being like, we've got to win and we've got to get the courts. We've got to win the midterms. Putting the decision out 2 months early is perfect for the people who would riot. Now I genuinely believe we may see riots because they want to influence what the vote actually
Now,
ends up
excuse
being.
my ignorance about but does the elections not factor into this because the Supreme Court?
They do not.
Yeah, it wouldn't, right? Because
So-
the Supreme Court's set, unless you need someone to die or step down in
down,
order
yeah.
to change that, right?
Yes. So this is the Supreme Court that currently exists. They're not elected. They're appointed and confirmed. The president says, I want this person to be a Supreme Court justice. Then the Senate then says yay or nay. So typically, if the Senate is controlled by Party A, but the president is of Party B, you're not going to get it. So you usually need a presidency and a Senate of the same party or at least same politics to make something like this happen. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, they should have term
Yesterday
limits.
was May Day.
They should be voted in.
Yeah,
and
May
then
1st, month of
confirmed.
Mary.
It should be a vote. The people should vote on Supreme Court justices at this stage, and there should be 4-year term limits.
I disagree because once you get that vote in there, you get the influence, you get the concern about possibly being reelected or whatever. And if people vote and make that decision, they're like, "Oh, we regret it. We're going to recall them." I feel like there's so much more of a solid factor when you have the president put them into place, and then they don't have to worry about a reelection. And because it is a lifetime appointment, they don't shift so much with the tide as regular politicians.
Right. That's a good
No
thing.
re-election. You get 4 years and you're out.
Yeah.
I don't want justices concerned about running for office ever.
No. It's good that we have at least one branch, in my opinion, that is for life.
Kind of
In
unchanged.
Canada,
For
the
life?
Senate's
Why?
for life.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lydia just explained it.
Yeah, but look how Canada's doing with
not great.
crude.
Not great. Not great.
You don't
we-
putting
we-
people in charge of the country for life is like a dictatorship.
But
it's
we
crazy.
have 3 branches.
only one
Ian,
branch,
and
yeah.
they can
Technically.
impeach them.
Yeah, they
so
can.
Congress can impeach a justice. The president appoints, Senate confirms, and we've got the elected president. We've got the elected members of Congress. They all have varying degrees to their terms. Congress is 2 years, Senate is 6, the presidency is 4. That's a good thing.
Senate
So-
needs term
Has that
limits,
ever
too.
happened? Supreme Court justice getting impeached?
Um,
Was Thomas the
probably-
closest? Did they try?
No, they didn't try to impeach him.
They didn't try to impeach him.
No.
Just-
I think
But
they tried to prevent him from being.
Or they tried to
sworn
prevent
in.
him from
Right,
being
right, accusing him of
confirmed. about it.
untoward behavior.
Indeed.
But the point is, some people are appointed for life, and I think it's a good thing because, as Lydia pointed out, they don't change the tides. They stick to their positions. There needs to be an anchor. Congress is very quick. Every 2 years, you get a who knows what.
Yeah.
Although some people never leave. And then the Senate is 6 years, which is a bit longer, and the presidency is 4. These different amounts of time allow there to be anchor positions so the country doesn't just implode instantly.
Unfortunately, it's not working so well because
took
the country looks like
250
a
years.
very slow implosion. Also, it took the Federal Reserve to come in and take over the country and now abuse our system and put these people in power for life and then pay them off in the background. Yeah, there's been 3 impeachments of justices. The second
Yes.
one in 1804
Yeah, they're like old, like.
for drunkenness and insanity. They
Yes,
impeached
yes,
the
that'll
guy.
do it.
Well, you can't just be drunk and be a.
You can't be a crazy drunk guy.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's. I think there should be a rule
I don't
that
want
there
the
needs
job.
to be
Whatever.
one
Yeah.
Supreme Court justice who is a drunk.
Samuel
Aren't they supposed to
Chase.
represent the nation?
All the time.
Exactly.
He's the tiebreaker, and he's
That
drunk
guy, yeah.
all the time. Just
Drunk
lit up on
and
moonshine.
crazy.
Yes.
Well,
and
they'll
crazy.
be. You give
He's
him
gotta
enough.
be drunk and
You give him that
crazy, yeah.
triple X
All right.
moonshine.
Yeah.
Seamus, what do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. I can't make a prediction here. I very much hope that this is official, that it is overturned. I know it appears as if this was leaked early. I'm not in the business of making predictions in this day and age, but let's keep praying.
Let me tell you, you know what the problem is with you, Seamus? With
Yeah.
you conservative types?
What's the problem with this?
You are satisfied by restriction on abortion going to the states.
I'm
where-
not satisfied
he's
by
not.
it.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not at all. No, I think
No.
we need to go further.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I would make it illegal nationwide if
right,
possible.
But
Let
what
me-
if they,
let me-
what if
let
they
me-
take a
let me
boat out
reframe
to
it.
international waters and do it?
No.
Then
Let-
I
let
mean,
me-
you prosecute them the same way you would if somebody took a boat out to international waters to kill their already born child.
Yeah.
Let me reframe it. I was trying to be
Oh.
sly, but conservatives very much.
I'm bad at that. That's the conservative problem.
Yeah.
Conservatives will very much be satisfied by saying it's a states' rights issue, whereas the left outright's like like we want unfettered access nationwide, no matter what. The left takes the extreme position. The right settles with a compromise.
Generally speaking, yeah. That's usually how the right operates. It's very sad. I think it is starting to change. More conservatives are waking up to the fact that trying to meet in the middle is not working for them.
Yo, it's gonna get crazy.
What's
but-
come about with the whole Texas the rule that they had with like the
Oh,
6
yeah.
weeks
Yeah,
and
they-
like the suing and didn't
Dude, it's
another
done.
state?
It's done.
But
All the-
what has actually like happened? Since,
Other states passed similar
Yeah,
restrictions.
didn't what Louisiana or something or
Yeah.
Mississippi, I think.
Arkansas,
or like
yeah, I don't remember
Oklahoma.
which one.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Right now, I assure you, there are tons of red states that are immediately drafting outright bans, knowing
Wyoming,
that in 2
yeah.
months they've won.
I don't understand,
So-
though. If doctors do it, then they're going to go to prison? A bunch of women do it? Are
Well,
they all
didn't-
going to go to prison?
Didn't what was it?
Wanna load up
Now,
prison
my
The
friend-
doctors would
populations?
go to prison,
Was
yeah.
it
But
Kevorkian?
I want to ask you guys some questions.
I don't know. Yeah.
I've
It was
asked
a
this
suicide, I
question.
think.
I've
No,
asked
he's
this
suicidal.
question. I think only in the members only before, but I have a question. If you saw someone about to kill another person,
Oh, yeah.
you are legally allowed to protect the life of others. So if an evil man was pinning down another man, choking him, you could use lethal force against the aggressor to save the life of the person being harmed. In most circumstances, obviously, if it's like there's a cop who's attacking somebody because they're fighting and you intervene, you might get in trouble. But if the cop was actually trying to kill, they like just strangle the guy out, maybe. So here's the point: if Roe v. Wade is overturned, and in red states they pass laws outright saying an unborn child is a life, and a doctor is about to perform an abortion, what would happen if someone intervened to protect the life of that child as per the law of their state? This is where I think we get into Civil War territory.
Yeah.
Because now it's getting scary.
Well, you're gonna get like the bombing of abortion clinics coming back.
That's different.
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
don't know
people
about
will
that.
be doing it under that guise where they're saying
Vigilante
what-
justice?
Your
If
logic.
there's no legal distinction between saving the life of a child and an unborn child because they are legally the same thing, and you have a doctor who's like, I am going to now perform the incision on the spine, and someone says, I will stop you by any means necessary, you might end up with stories where the courts say it was self-defense to stop the killing of that child. So I think that's where we can get into Civil War territory.
I'm concerned about miscarriages, man. Like a 6-month pregnant woman falls down and hits her stomach and the baby dies. Then what, are they going to charge her with manslaughter because she didn't protect and defend the baby's life? She allowed it into a dangerous situation?
I
I
think-
guess in this sense it would be what the actual procedure of.
Right.
Well, then you're going to see a bunch of women falling over and landing on their
Ian,
stomachs.
there are people. Yeah,
probably.
maybe.
I mean, just like
I
they
don't
did.
know.
But well, when abortion was illegal and they had all the back alley
so there,
abortions, I'm sure some
Yeah,
women will find a
so-
way if
I
they're
don't
so
know
like.
if that's true.
No,
yeah,
those
so
numbers are.
there were back alley abortions. All the supposed numbers of women who died from back alley abortions were literally completely fabricated. Bernard Nathanson, who founded NARAL, admitted later on in his life after he actually converted and became pro-life because he saw the errors of his ways that he was literally just making all of it up. But yeah, that's
Ian,
the answer to that question.
Right now, there are people who will be driving their car. No, I'll tell you a story from my neighborhood. There was an old man driving his car, and he ran over a 14-year-old girl. And when he went ba-bum, ba-bum, he stopped, put the car in reverse, and backed up, not knowing what he hit, and crushed her head like a melon. He did not get charged.
Why?
Because in order to charge someone, you need several criteria. And an accident like this with an old guy, they said he wasn't negligent. He was just an old guy driving, and he hit somebody, panicked, and killed her.
He didn't see the person before he hit him?
He didn't see her. He was driving normally. He was driving the speed limit. He was doing everything right, but he was just a bad driver. And my understanding is, I don't think he got, I'm pretty sure he didn't get charged. They just took his license away from him. There are a lot of people who do things like you could be driving and it can be pitch black on a road and someone jumps in front of your car and you hit them and you don't get charged. And they'll be like, you were driving. You should have seen him.
Didn't that happen to a politician where he said he hit a deer?
Well, I think he's getting charged.
Yeah, well, because he lied. He was like, I think I hit a deer and hit a person. And they're like, we found glasses.
My point is,
Jeez.
I really doubt.
That's brutal.
I think in the circumstance where you're driving your car and you hit somebody and it was a real accident where the person jumped out in front of you and it wasn't, you were doing everything right, you might still get charged. If it's a woman who has a miscarriage and it goes to the hospital, I think it may happen, but it'll be extremely rare that the cops are going to be like, let's lock her up.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to find me an example of that actually happening. I know a couple of years ago there was a story where a woman put like a fully developed unborn child in a dumpster, and so I think they were investigating to see whether or not the child like was born and then she put it in the dumpster, or if it was a miscarriage. But I don't know of any examples of any of the states where abortion is currently restricted or illegal where women are pursued for having miscarriages. In fact, in the ones that we've seen, the penalty only falls upon the doctor.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.